Good morning. Mincha today will be at 5:15. There's a late Marv at 8. Tomorrow morning we'll be davening at 6 downstairs. Now for a quick of our Torah. One of the issues that this week's parsha deals with is the Torah's view of slavery. Uh, and I'm not going to get into the whole issue of why didn't the Torah ban slavery. But also note that the Hebrew word for slave and the Hebrew word for servant are are the exact same word. So it can get very confusing. There's three ways that a Jew could become a slave. Either they were in debt, they're in poverty, and they want to get themselves out, so they're going to work, and then after slavery, they'll get some money and they'll be able to put themselves right. They're in debt and they have to work off their debt, or they stole something and could not compensate the person they stole from, so they have to work off that debt. And by the way, note that this was the Jewish idea, the Torah's idea for punishment for thievery was, the common American idea is you send them to prison. The person he stole from does not get compensated, and this person, nothing happens to him in prison except he meets other criminals and they learn how to be a better criminal. And then the state has to pay for his room and board. Here, he has to work it off. And finally, the Torah says that if somebody does not want to go free after his term of slavery, and slavery was only up to 6 years, indentured servitude. If he doesn't want to go free for whatever reason, what do? We bore a hole in his ear because he says, I love my master. I want to stay with my master. I want to stay with my slave wife, my Canaanite wife, whatever. We bore a hole in his ear. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, this was an answer to the Code of Hammurabi. In the Code of Hammurabi, if a slave says, I hate my master, you cut off his ear. Notice that here, we're telling him, if you want to be a slave, there's something wrong with you. It is not the right thing for a person to be. The Code of Hammurabi, it assumed that a slave is a slave and has to love his master. So it's a very interesting distinction of how revolutionary the Torah was at the time. That the goal of the Torah is that we should be free people. You cannot keep all the mitzvot unless you're a free person. It's something to think about, Kaddish D'Rabbanan.